Breaking. As of today, May 18th, 2026, a major new report just dropped that could change how much money 75 million Americans receive every single month. The number being talked about today is 3.9%. That might sound small, but for millions of retirees on fixed incomes, that number is the difference between paying rent and not paying rent, between buying medication and going without. Today, we are breaking down everything. What happened today, what the numbers mean, what they are not telling you, and most importantly, what you need to do right now. Stay with me. This is one of the most important Social Security videos you will watch all year. Whether you are already collecting Social Security, whether you are planning to retire in the next few years, or whether you have a parent or grandparent on benefits, this video is for you. Because what happened in the last 7 days in the world of Social Security is massive. We have a brand new COLA forecast. We have inflation numbers that nobody expected. We have seniors losing buying power every single year. And we have a payment going out this week, this Wednesday, May 20th. We are going to cover all of it. Let's start with the biggest news of the day. As of today, May 18th, 2026, the biggest story in Social Security is the brand new COLA forecast for 2027. The Senior Citizens League, one of the largest and most respected nonpartisan senior advocacy groups in the country, has officially revised their prediction for next year's cost of living adjustment. Their new number? 3.9%. Now, just 1 month ago, that same estimate was sitting at 2.8%. That is the exact same raise seniors got this year in 2026, but in just 30 days, the forecast has jumped by 1.1 full percentage points. Why? 2 words: rising inflation. April's Consumer Price Index data, which came out last week, showed that inflation climbed to 3.8% on an annual basis. That is up from 3.3% in March, higher than the 3.7% that most analysts were expecting. And the CPIW, which is the specific inflation index the Social Security Administration uses to calculate COLA, came in at 3.9% for the past 12 months. Energy prices are what's driving this. The index for energy rose 3.8% in just 1 month, April alone, and energy accounted for over 40% of the total inflation increase. Gasoline, electricity, heating costs, fresh produce, all of it going up. And one independent analyst, Social Security and Medicare policy expert Mary Johnson, is projecting the 2027 COLA could actually be even higher. Her estimate? 4.2%. She is calling this sharply rising inflation with no signs of stopping. So what does 3.9% actually mean in dollars? If you are the average retired worker right now, your April 2026 benefit check was $2,081 per month. A 3.9% increase would add approximately $81 to that, bringing your check to roughly $2,160 per month. For spousal benefits, which average $986 right now, a 3.9% raise would push that over $1,000 for the very first time. $124 per month. That is a milestone, but before you celebrate, we need to talk about the catch, and it is a big one. Here's what the headlines are not telling you. A higher COLA does not necessarily mean you will have more money in your pocket. In fact, history shows it often means the exact opposite. Let's talk about Medicare. Every year, Medicare Part B premiums are automatically deducted directly from your Social Security check, right off the top, before you ever see a dollar. This year, in 2026, Medicare Part B premiums hit $202.90 per month. For the first time in history, they crossed the $200 mark. That alone wiped out a large portion of this year's 2.8% raise for tens of millions of beneficiaries. And for 2027, according to the 2025 Medicare Trustees Report, the standard monthly Part B premium is already projected to reach $218.60. That is a jump of almost $16 per month. The deductible would also rise from $283 to $305. So let's do the math together. Average retired worker gets an extra $81 per month from a 3.9% COLA. Medicare Part B premiums go up by about $6 per month. Net gain in your actual check? Around $65, maybe. And that $65 still has to cover rising rent, rising grocery bills, rising utility bills, and rising prescription drug costs, all of which are going up faster than that $65 covers. The Senior Citizens League has been tracking this for years, and their research is devastating. Benefits have lost 13.7% of their buying power since 2016. Today's average Social Security check is worth only about 86.3 cents for every dollar it was worth a decade ago. They also calculated that to fully restore the lost buying power since 2010, benefits would need to increase by 15.7%. That is $295.85 per month for the average beneficiary. We are getting $81. We need $295. That is how big the gap has become. And why does this happen? Because the formula itself is broken. The CPIW, the index used to calculate COLA, tracks the spending habits of working-age Americans. Not retired people, not seniors. Seniors spend more on healthcare, more on housing, more on prescription drugs. less on work-related expenses. So the inflation that seniors actually feel is not accurately captured in the number the government uses to set COLA. Advocacy groups have been pushing for a switch to the CPIE, the Consumer Price Index for the elderly, but so far nothing has changed. Now let's get into something very practical, because a lot of you are waiting for your check right now. This week, on Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, Social Security payments are going out to everyone born between the 11th and the 20th of any month. This covers retired workers, SSDI beneficiaries, and survivor benefit recipients who began collecting after May 1997. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th, you already received your payment on May 13th. If you were born between the 21st and the 31st, your payment is scheduled for May 27th. SSI recipients already received their checks on May 1st because SSI follows a separate federal payment schedule. What can you expect in that check? The average retired worker is receiving approximately $2,071 to $2,081 per month in 2026 after the 2.8% COLA increase. Average disability payment, SSDI, is approximately $1,633 per month. If you retire at full retirement age, the maximum benefit is $4,150 per month. If you delayed retirement all the way until age 70, you could be receiving up to $5,181 per month. That is the highest payout in program history. If your payment does not arrive by Friday, May 22nd, contact the Social Security Administration directly. Do not wait too long. While all of this is happening with inflation and COLA numbers, there is a parallel crisis unfolding inside the Social Security Administration itself. As of today, May 18th, 2026, the SSA is shutting down its national hearing centers, 5 of them across the country. These are the facilities that handle appeals, meaning people whose retirement or disability claims were rejected and are fighting back. The agency says this closure will not result in layoffs and that the work is moving to a fully virtual model through video conference platforms. But for claimants who are not tech-savvy, particularly elderly or disabled Americans, that transition is not easy. And that is just the latest in a long series of operational changes at SSA. After significant staffing reductions in 2025, the agency is still operating with far fewer employees than it had before. One SSA employee is now responsible for serving 1,480 beneficiaries, more than 3 times the workload of 1967. The agency is at a 60-year staffing low, while the number of beneficiaries is at an all-time high. The result? Longer wait times on the phone, longer processing times for new claims, more delays on disability decisions. Commissioner Bisignano issued a statement on May 7th calling this a historic year and claiming a stronger Social Security. But seniors on the ground are reporting the opposite. The bottom line, the system is under more pressure than it has been in a generation. And millions of Americans are feeling that pressure every single day. So what happens now? What should you be watching between today and the end of 2026? The official 2027 COLA announcement will come in October 2026. The SSA calculates it based on third quarter CPIW data, meaning July, August, and September inflation numbers. What we have right now is only an estimate based on April data. If inflation keeps rising, and right now it looks like it will, the COLA could end up higher than 3.9%. Some analysts are already at 4.2%. If oil prices spike further, if tariffs continue pushing up the cost of imported goods, if housing costs stay elevated, that number could move even higher before October. But if inflation cools down over the summer, which is also possible, the COLA could come back down closer to 3% or even lower. You will also receive a personalized COLA notice from the SSA in December 2026 that will show your exact new benefit amount for 2027. On the legislative side, there are ongoing discussions in Congress about the long-term solvency of Social Security. Current projections suggest the program could face a funding shortfall around 2033 to 2035 if no reforms are made. That does not mean benefits disappear, but it could mean automatic cuts of around 20% if Congress does not act. So far, no comprehensive reform has passed. Both parties say they support Social Security. But the hard decisions about how to fund it, raising the payroll tax cap, adjusting the retirement age, changing the benefit formula, remain unresolved. Whether you are collecting right now or planning to collect in the future, here is exactly what to do. Step 1. Create or log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. You can see your projected benefit amounts, your earnings history, and get your personalized COLA notice in December. It takes 10 minutes. It is free, and it gives you a complete picture of where you stand. Step 2. Know your Medicare Part B premium costs and factor those into your budget. Do not assume your full COLA increase is going into your pocket. Run the actual numbers and what goes in versus what gets deducted. Step 3. If you are between the ages of 62 and 70 and have not yet claimed, think carefully about when to claim. Every year you delay past full retirement age, your benefit increases by 8%. If you can afford to wait, waiting pays off significantly. Step 4. Check your earnings record. Errors in your Social Security earnings history can lower your benefit permanently. Log into SSA.gov, review your record, and report any mistakes immediately. Step 5. Stay informed. The October announcement is the one that matters for your 2027 check. Watch this channel. We will break it down the moment it drops. Today, May 18th, 2026, the biggest Social Security story is this. The 2027 COLA forecast has jumped to 3.9%, potentially adding $81 per month to the average retirement check. Inflation is rising faster than expected, driven by energy, housing, and food costs. But the real story is not the headline number. The real story is that Social Security's buying power has been shrinking for a decade, that Medicare premiums eat into every raise, that the agency serving 75 million Americans is under enormous pressure, and that the decisions made in Washington over the next few years will shape retirement security for millions of people. If this video helped you understand what is happening, share it with someone who needs to know. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are not already, and drop a comment below telling me what is your biggest concern about Social Security right now. I read every single comment, and I will keep bringing you the real numbers, not the spin. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.